Hello and welcome, I am Roy at Ninjas1180, and today I will be reviewing the Mattel Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse Horde Skeletor. And this is a pretty cool figure, and I got some things to say about him. So, with that said, let's get started. And now, starting things off with the box, because, you know, I gotta talk about really cool boxes on this channel when we have them. And yes, I do plan to keep all of my Masterverse boxes, hopefully, if possible. But anyway, going over the box, first and foremost, we can see I've already taken the figure out of it because it's obvious because they already have an unboxing video done. But anyway, we can see front and center we have Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is the Netflix original series that this figure is from. And of course, we have the name of the figure you are getting inside Skeletor, but in this case, more specifically, Horde Skeletor. But for some reason, they just don't say that. They leave it out for whatever, for whatever reason. And of course, we have the Mattel logo, letting you know the company that makes this figure. And we have ages 6+, so all you 5-year-olds, you're out of luck. But needless to say, I think a 6-year-old would, you know, lose everything in here. And yeah, they would probably break it out of the box anyway with all that stiffness and stuck paint you got to deal with sometimes. But anyway, we have Masterverse, which is the figure line that this figure is a part of. And of course, we have 30 points of articulation right there. An uninteresting barcode, which I'm more than sure nobody cares about. We have Skeletor, Evil Lord of Destruction, right, written right there. The other side of the box, we have a really cool art style drawing of the Horde Skeletor, looking really cool. That's back from the scene where he was taking Evil Lyn under his wing when he was still with Hordak. I remember watching that on Netflix from the Revelation series. Although I kind of watched them in reverse for some reason. I don't know why. I watched Revolution before watching Revelation, but then I watched I don't know why, but I watched them in backwards order, but I still watched them. But anyway, moving right along to the back of the box, we have another really cool art style picture of the Horde Skeletor right there, looking really cool. And of course, we have the character bio. I'll leave it right there for a hot little minute so you guys can read that if you want to, or you can pause it and read it. So I'll leave it there for at least a few seconds. And now, moving right along, we have also available in this line, we have Prince Adam. I didn't even realize there was a Masterverse Prince Adam, but I did look this one up on eBay. He is crazy expensive. I looked up some information. He was like some Amazon exclusive back in 2023. That's before I started collecting Masterverse. And yeah, I'm not paying over $100 for him. Sorry. We have another one called Webster. I am not familiar with that character. Of course, we have the Horde Skeletor, which is the figure you are getting in this package. And of course, we have Clamp Champ. And of course, we have Mattel, empowering the next generation through play. And a bunch of recycling logos right there. And bottom of the box, a bunch of more jibber jabber about the figure and legal information and another barcode. And yeah, that pretty much concludes it for the box. Now on to the figure. And now here we have the Mattel Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse Horde Skeletor right here before us in all of his evil Dark Lord of Destruction glory. First off, I would have to say this is more of a unique look for Skeletor, if you ask me, because to me, this colorization, you know, with the black in his cape and in his hood, and you know, in his shin guards and in his skirt armor, and even in his harness, contrasting with the red trim. It definitely gives Skeletor more of a Grim Reaper-like appearance, especially, you know, with that more realistic bone white skull face that he has. So, yeah, definitely looks more Grim Reaper-ish from the looks of it. Next thing you know, he's gonna end up with two unwanted friends named Billy and Mandy, and he's gonna start talking in a Jamaican accent. But anyway, that's another subject for another day. Getting back to the figure, but yeah, I think this is a really cool one. And of course, we can see this is a look from when he was under Horde before he broke off and became, you know, his own tyrant, I guess. We do see the Horde symbol on his belt right there, and he does have some pretty cool looking skirt armor or loincloth, but this is kind of like more of a skirt type of thing. But anyway, this cape right here is cloth, and it is removable. I will get to that later in the video. But one thing I would have to say is the Havoc staff he comes with does look pretty cool. I really like the translucent ram skull at the top of it. It's like a real shiny, translucent blood red color. It looks nice, and it kind of just gives him like more like a darker, more like menacing, evil look. It has, like, what I mean, it has a more darker, more menacing, evil look to it with that colorization. So it definitely fits his character. As far as articulation with this figure, this one does feature the updated articulation. So this is most likely from a later wave than when the Masterverse first started with the Revelation series, because this one does have the drop-down hips, and you can rotate this whole top torso without worrying about the, you know, joint that holds the torso, the upper and lower torso together, snapping. So that is a definite plus. So I'm guessing that's a ball joint, which I said in my previous review, that's what it should have been the whole time from when Mattel first started the Masterverse. Why they went with a single plastic pick joint in the middle of the chest that you can't rotate and that snaps if you try to is beyond me. Like I said, for a toy company like as well known and as well experienced as Mattel is, I have no clue why they went that route, but for some reason they did, but they did correct it along the way. But other than that, I did notice something strange when I got the Vintage Collection Skeletor in, and I know that's a different Skeletor figure, not this one. That one does have the drop-down hips, but however, yeah, it still has that dreaded peg joint in the middle of the torso. They never updated that one. They never updated that for that one. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what's what with that. But anyway, getting into articulation with this figure, and it's pretty much the same song and dance you're going to have with every other Masterverse figure. The head can look up a little bit, we can look down somewhat. It's kind of the articulation of his head is very hindered by the hood, but anyway, we can look right, we can look left, and of course we could do a full-on 360 cranium revolvus and the opposite way. We also have a really good shoulder hinges, so we can bring his shoulders up into a T-pose like so, and bring them back down. We can also swivel them all the way around on a swivel joint. Same is true with the other side, so we can swivel that all the way around, and the opposite way if we choose to. And we could also swivel the other arm the opposite way if we want to. But also, like let's say, it's when you do swivel the arms, just be careful of the tassel straps on his harness armor, so just be careful of that. Anyway, we also have bicep swivels, so we can swivel those biceps a full 360 if we choose to. Yeah, we might want to take his Havoc staff out, make things a little easier. So yeah, we can swivel those biceps. We have a double joint at the elbow, so we do have that. And we can bend them back. And like I demonstrated, we can rotate this one a full 360 at the waist. I mean, at the top torso. I mean, not the waist, from the abdomen. And we can also rotate a full 360 at the waist as well. So we do have that. Although, like I said, your top torso articulation may vary. Like I was saying, depending on that Masterverse Vintage Collection Skeletor. So you might not be able to turn every single top torso a full 360. My advice to you, if you feel like you're trying to turn it and it is resisting, that is not a ball joint, that is a peg joint, do not do it. Because then you're going to end up breaking your figure, and then you're going to have to end up replacing it. Just like I had to do with my 40th anniversary Masterverse He-Man. But anyway, moving right along, we do have a wrist swivel, so we can swivel those wrists a full 360 and bend them forward and back on a hinge. Same is true with the other hand. So, see, I have excess plastic coming off of mine right there. Alright, let's see. That's nothing. And of course, we can bend the other wrist forward and back as well. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something. Yeah, it's just a little piece of excess. I could probably get that with my nail clipper. I just got to be careful. And like I was saying, we can do the same thing with the other hand. And of course, we can rotate it all the way around. And for some reason, I don't know, every Skeletor figure Masterverse Skeletor figure I come across, except for the Vintage Collection Skeletor, I don't know, for some reason has a trigger finger hand. Even though he does not come with any type of gun or anything, or any type of blaster weapon. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But anyway, moving right along down to the lower body portion of the figure. And like I said, this one does have those updated drop-down hips. Just to show you guys, so we can do the full-on RVD splits with this one. So we can do that. And we can bring them back. Which means we could also kick forward a lot further as well, since we have those updated hip joints. And then back down. Same is true with the other side. And back down. And we can kick back a little bit. Somewhat. We do have full 360 rotation in those hips. So we can rotate those hips a full 360. Like so. And then back. I think I got one leg further down than the other, so I have to fix it. We also have a double joint in the knee. So you can bend those knees all the way back. Putting Skeletor on his knees because He-Man just kicked his butt. Or maybe She-Ra could have kicked his butt too. But anyway, bringing him back up. We do have a swivel in the shin, so we could swivel those shins of his all the way around a full 360. And as you can see, this is a three-toed Skeletor, and he's barefoot. Now, the toes on this one and the and the fingernails are not painted, but it's still cool. I still like it. I still think this is a well worth it figure. And of course, we do have hinges in the ankles, so we could point those ankles all the way down, like so, and then point them back up if we want to. And also, we can point them down, rotate them all the way around as well, so we can rotate those feet of his. So we do have that. And of course, for accessories, he comes with the Havoc staff. So let's put that in his hand. So we do have like the blood red, like Horde Havoc staff, I guess. Looks cool. And of course, he comes with 2 closed fist hands, which probably not going to use too much. Unless I got to do like a punching scene with the right hand. Or, well, yeah, right hand right here. Because he has, like, that trigger finger hand if I'm doing a stop-motion project. But still, let's just leave it, even though. But anyway, to get his cape off, all you really got to do is just take the head like this and just pull it. But just be careful, because I almost ripped his cape. Now, if you take the cape off... well, let me put his head back on, because we don't want a decapitated Skeletor. But anyway, he's already lost his face, so we don't want to lose his head. But anyway, that's how he looks without his cape. But anyway, we have the sort of like robed cape right here. So what you do is when you put it on, we have this... oh, I just dropped it. Excuse me. There we go. So what you do when you put it on, we have this little small loop right here for to put it over the neck joint. And then what we have to do is loop this other piece around and then loop that over the neck joint as well. So basically, but before I do that, I'm going to go over... his harness that it comes with, or his harness armor, because I never really got to go over that, because his big roped cape was on, covering that up. But as you can see, we do have that Horde bat symbol going all around the chest harness, and that's how, I guess that's why Skeletor kept that, I don't know, that symbol on the top of his harness armor, because it used to be with Hordak. And of course we see that blood red trim going all throughout the straps of his harness as well. We do see he has some very nice shiny metallic crossbones in the middle of that harness. And we do kind of like have that, like some round blood red jewel in the middle of that harness as well. But anyway, like I was saying, to put his cape back on, what we want to do is we want to take his head off again. So yeah, we gotta take his head off again. So basically, the way you do this, it could get a little complicated, so just watch me. You put this part around the neck joint right here, and you take this piece right here, and this is where it could get a little loopy, because it can become a hassle if you're not careful. And yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of fumbling with it right now, trying to get it right, and put this over like so. And, well, or wait, that might not be right, or is it? Okay, I think so. So, and now give me his head. Or at least that's the best I can get it for now. So, yeah, put his head back on. So, yeah, that pretty much concludes it for this figure. If I have to give him a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a drum roll, please. When it comes to detail, articulation, and playability with this figure, I think the detail is really good. Very unique looking Skeletor. Like I said, to me, he looks very Grim Reaper-like. The only thing, he doesn't come with a Jamaican accent, but yeah, that's a joke. But anyway, if I do have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give this figure a well-deserved 10 out of 10. Why? Number one, it does have the updated torso articulation, so I can rotate that top torso all the way around a full 360, no problem. So that, I definitely got to give it some extra points. It does have the drop down hips, so that is a definite plus, which means you have a greater range of articulation with this figure, which is very significant, and it is good to have. Far as detail wise, I say it's very show accurate. Although, like, you only see this on screen for this version of Skeletor on screen for like a few minutes in like one episode, I think this still makes for a pretty cool and unique Skeletor figure. And I'm glad I have this one in my collection. I do plan to get more Masterverse Skeletors, or like at least more variants of him, because I know there's some that I don't have. A few that I don't have. I know the Battle Armor Skeletor is kind of expensive on the aftermarket right now, so I might not bother with that one. But there is the one that comes with a Bone Throne that I've definitely been keeping my eye on. And there's the Terraclaw Skeletor that I'm yet to snag up. And I think there's like the William Shatner version of Keldor. But speaking of Keldor, yes, I do have them. I have the New Eternia one, as you can see. And another version of Skeletor I just got. Yeah, the Skeletech. So, about that. But anyway, so yeah, I am been getting some pretty good Masterverse figures in. And another version of Skeletor I have, he's right here, which is the Skelegod, which I am going to review later. But anyway, yeah, enough with the Skeletors. Anyway, guys, as always, to wrap it all up, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your viewership is much appreciated. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, stay positive, stay powered up, and peace out.